Hey there, Lynn Switzer here, professional fairy godmother. And I'm here today with Coach Webb, and we are talking from the first episode of a new show for you today, and it is called The Dream Life. That's right. You see, Coach Webb and myself, we have a very interesting take on how to manifest a new reality. He has helped me out. I have helped him out. And today we're going to combine our knowledge and we're going to start sharing it so that you can be the best that you can be and have a wonderful life and small business that you absolutely love.
That's right.
All right. So, Coach Webb, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. So, hello, everybody. My name is actually Jody Webb, but I do ask everybody to call me Coach because that is what I do. I've been a school teacher and football coach from 19 years. I think I figured out the other day that I have taught over 5,000 people. And I'm from the great state of Louisiana, and I'm so excited to be on this show today because she is the real deal. Lynn is the real deal. She is a true fairy godmother, and I'm so honored to be here, and I'm excited about what we have to bring you today.
Aw, thank you so very much for those kind words. I appreciate that tremendously.
You
So,
did not pay me to say that.
let's go ahead and talk about what it is that's our subject today. Now, I know you have prepared for us a wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Yes, I have.
All right, so go ahead and give me the title and give me just a quick synopsis of it.
Okay, the title of my presentation today is Master Your Thoughts, Master Your Dreams. And in this presentation, one, I'm going to prove to you that your mind plays tricks on you. Now, I don't think you have a real hard time believing that, do you, Fairy Godmother?
No, I know it does. I understand completely how the mind can play a trick on you and how you just have to figure out what's real and what's not. But you have to also understand fear is simply a mindset, it's a perception. And when you examine it, it falls all apart. So go on.
That's right. It's exactly right. And the take that I'm coming from today is more about perspective. And so I think when we go through it, you can see it. When you see it, it'll be hard to unsee it. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really excited about this presentation today. I really think it's going to help you maybe see things in a new light. And we'll just go from there. We'll see what happens.
I am all ears, eyes. Let's jump right on in. Do you
Fantastic.
have something that you want to share with us?
Yes, I do.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and get your screen ready, and we'll be right back after this sponsor message.
All
All
right.
right. So we are back. Go ahead, Coach Webb. What do we got here?
All right, Fairy Godmother. So as I said, the title of my presentation today is Master Your Thoughts, Master Your Dreams. You know, it's very important. You see this girl in this picture, she has lots of ideas. She has lots of, and she's happy about them. She's happy about her thoughts. But sometimes they overwhelm us and we just don't know how to get to our dreams. And it may make us melancholy like the lady in the picture there. We don't want to be melancholy. We want to be actually able to achieve our dreams. And so we have to master our thoughts. Now, as I said in the introduction, your brain can play tricks with you, and I'm sure, Fairy Godmother, you're very familiar with the old saying, the proof is
in the pudding.
Exactly, there you go. And so for a moment, I would like to prove to you, if you don't already know, if you're not 100% sure, I would like to prove to you that your brain can indeed play tricks on you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. What do we got to show us today?
Fantastic. Here we go. So I'm going to ask the audience, what do you see in this picture?
Remember to comment below in the sections, please.
That's right. Take a look. Take about 10 seconds. What do you see in this picture? Fairy godmother, you want to take a stab at it?
I see a duck, honestly.
You see a duck. Well, guess what? You are not alone because pretty much 100% of the world sees a duck in this picture. That's exactly what the artist wanted you to see until you take a different perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, the rabbit.
Oh, wow.
Rabbit. All we did, you see, I want you to know the 100%, this is the same exact picture, just turned sideways. And as you see, a rabbit has photobombed our presentation. Trick number 1.
Interesting.
Yes. So I'm going to do this again. Now, hopefully the whole idea here, remember, is perspective. It's how you look at things. Perspective is how you look at things. And just straight on, what we were meant to see was a duck. Now, here's the other amazing thing before we get to our second one, is that once you see the rabbit, you cannot unsee it. Even if I go back and took the rabbit off the screen, you would look at the duck and you would immediately see the rabbit kind of looking off into the distance. All right, so here we go. Ready for number 2?
I definitely am.
Right. Okay, so once again, what do you see in this picture?
I see an unhappy frog.
All right, what about the rest of our audience? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to look at this picture.
Make sure you comment down below in the chat box.
That's right, comment down below. Let's see how you do. All right, 3, 2, 1. Did you see the horse?
I do now.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
That truly is.
Once again, this is the same exact picture, just change the perspective a little bit. I promise on a Scout's honor, and yes, I was a Scout. So there you go. So I think we have proof that your brain can play tricks on you.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Well, going into this, I knew that, but looking at this is very, very compelling evidence that these optical illusions, by just changing your perspective, tilting it slightly perhaps, gives you an entirely different viewpoint on how to continue forward.
Exactly. That's exactly it. We have to look at things from all angles. There are some things we need to turn completely upside down in our lives, just take a whole complete different look at them. Because the way that we have been looking at them just gets to a point that it's just not working anymore. And so we want to take a side view. We want to look at it from the other side. And maybe we want to get behind it and look at it. And maybe, just maybe, we have to turn everything upside down and just completely shake things up. So perspective is very important. Now, what do you think, Fairy Godmother, if you had to guess, what do you think is one of the biggest reasons why we get so stuck in our problems and issues?
Because our emotions and what we know in our programming gets us stuck there at times. Other times we feel just so helpless and we're stuck in fear. I guess it would really depend on the issue and why, and how we're feeling, in my opinion. But it's not ever going to be from a place of happiness and joy if you're feeling stuck in an issue.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, I want to give you just a little bit different take, if that's all right.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, so here we go. All right, once again, I want you to take a look at this picture and tell me what you see. The studio audience, again, we want you, or audience below, we want you to comment and tell me, do you have any idea what this is a picture of? And I will tell you that it is a very familiar object. How about it, Fairy Godmother? What do you think?
I think it's one of those puff dandelions that you can make a wish on that's just under high microscope.
Now, I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that I did not tell the Fairy Godmother what I would be presenting exactly today. I did not give her the pictures ahead of time. But as you can see, if we take a step back, we can see a little bit better. And then we take another step back and we can see that it is clearly a dandelion.
Now,
Now,
to be fair, I have studied dandelions under high-powered microscopes off and on for years, so it was just really kind of easy for me to figure that out. But I can understand why some people wouldn't know what it was, or perhaps they thought it was the middle of a flower of some sort.
right,
I can see that. I can also see perhaps,
a strange amoeba,
yeah, or part of an eyeball.
right, exactly.
You know,
Maybe,
there's lots of different things, maybe even a jellyfish.
maybe some current.
Maybe, maybe. So there's lots of different things that it could be. But this is just a really great example of how your brain will go with its first reaction according to your perception.
Exactly. And also, the thing that you inserted in is your own experience. So you have a lot of experience with dandelions, but most of us probably don't have nearly the experience that you have. But really, and in addition, the other point that I'm making is that you hit right on the key, that this is magnified under a microscope. And that's exactly what happens when we have a problem of our issue. Now, if you at home will play along with me, if you don't mind, just take your hand and put it out in front of your face where you can plainly see all four fingers and your thumb. Easy,
Okay.
right? No problem. We can see our hand, we know our hand, and we know exactly what it is. However, if you take your hand and turn it sideways just slightly and move it right up to the tip of your nose, what can you see?
Mostly my hand, but I still see
Exactly.
my computer screen, honestly, because my computer screen's a lot bigger than my hand.
Right. But your hand is dominating your computer screen, right?
Yes, very much so.
Exactly, because you are so close to your problem that it's hard to see anything else.
Oh, now that's a really interesting perspective on that, Coach Webb. Can you
Thank you.
expand on that just a little bit more?
Sure, I'd be glad to. But first, I think everybody knows, and you kind of gave it away, but that's okay. What we're supposed to do with this particular item,
You should make
make
a
a wish.
wish.
That's right. That's right. So here's the way this works. What happens is when you get into a major problem, especially one that involves we can take what's going on in the world today. Many people feel threatened, especially their economy, their own personal finances are
Mhm.
being threatened by this virus. That people are afraid that they're going to lose something important to them, maybe their house, maybe their car, who knows? But it's fear. And so what happens is we get that problem gets so close to our face that all we can see, and it gets into our mind so much that all we can see, all we can think about is that problem. However, if we will take a step back, we can start to see more of the big picture and begin to think about ways that we can overcome the problem. Because I can guarantee you this, if you continue forward with your hand over your face, with your problem right there at the edge of the nose, there's a very good chance it's going to result in other problems. For instance, you
Mhm.
might trip on something. You're not going to be able to see the world around you clearly. All you can see is your hand. All you can see is your problem. But by
Yep.
taking a step back and taking a step back and taking a step back, your problem will become a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller, and it will allow you to see ways around it that you may not have previously seen.
So let me just see if I can understand this correctly. When you take that step back and you detach from what it is that you are working on, it gives you a moment to breathe and it gives you clarity, perhaps, to see another pathway that you haven't been able to see before. Maybe perhaps a solution out of being stuck.
That's exactly right. Now, here's the other thing that goes with that. And many people may be asking themselves, fairy godmother, why do I need a coach? Well, here's the thing. If you're having a problem and the people around you are having the same problem, or they don't know how to help you with that problem, you're going to have a hard time getting through the problem. Would you agree?
I fully agree.
But when you connect with someone who's not dealing with, not emotionally attached, who's not within that specific problem with you, they can help you see things from that different perspective. Okay, so we know this is a problem. So now let's talk about what solutions we can come up with to help us overcome this problem and remove it completely from our sight.
No, Jody, I think that would be a great thing to talk about now. Just before we do that, one quick question. What happens if you have numerous coaches that you'd like to work with? How do you figure that out? You said just a few moments ago that this is why you need a coach. So can we break that down on, maybe discussing a little bit, or no, you know what? That's going to be something for another video altogether. We're going to do that on our next video. I just happened to think of that. But I do want to break this down here a moment.
Okay.
Before we get into how to solve this problem, you have to be able to acknowledge the fact that there is a problem, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And do not be ashamed of this problem. You need outside help sometimes from reliable sources who understand and empathize with what you're going through, but just perhaps have a slightly different perception. And that different perception helps everything.
Exactly.
Now,
may I make an amendment to that?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so this is what's important to go along with that. What's really important is that you find someone.
Jody, you cut out. Gotta love technology.
Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what's really important along with that is to find someone who's had that same problem, but they're on the other side of it. That means they have overcome that problem successfully and have maintained that success for a period of time. For example,
Okay. Jody? Go ahead.
if you're angry and you're around other people who are angry, then the likelihood of you solving that problem, of getting through your anger, is not going to happen.
This is true.
There's a great saying that you are the sum total of the people that you hang out with. So if everyone is at the same level, then the likelihood of you overcoming your problem is not very good. However, if you find an expert, an expert is simply defined as, again, as someone who has been through that.
Go ahead.
Someone who has been through the problem, successfully overcome it, and continues to maintain success against that problem. That is an expert. They don't need a degree. They don't need a specialization. All they need is to have successfully solved the problem or the issue that you're dealing with, overcome it, and continue to overcome it in the present.
And that in itself is so inspiring, because you have a real life example there in front of you that can help you not only through your problem, but knows exactly what you're going through. You're not necessarily in your skin with your perceptions, but they have a very good idea of where your mindset is at that moment. And that's, helpful to get over something, to change something, to get rid of the trauma that sometimes is caused by today's society deep within our heart.
That's exactly right.
Okay. So let's dive right on in now and find out how to fix this issue.
All right, fantastic. So we're moving into our next segment. All right, so I'm going to ask you a very important question. Where is your focus?
Hmm. Why don't you
Where,
define focus for us really quick?
okay? Focus is really simply where we are looking. What's in your view? So let's say that we have at least been able to take that step back,
Mm-hmm.
and we have at least, and that we have at least, we knew we had a problem. We knew we had an issue.
Mm-hmm.
This situation we're in has threatened our income. Let's say that's the issue. All right,
That's a
it's
big issue for a lot of people. So, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Right now, if
that's
you can relate to this, click the thumbs up sign.
yes. If COVID-19 is threatening your finances, give us a thumbs up or a face or something.
And my heart does go out to you. Understand that
Yeah.
if I could have a wave a magic wand, I would, and this virus would disappear and things would go back to normal. However, unfortunately, that is not the case right now. But need to ask yourself, where is your focus? Just like Coach Webb is saying, because your focus is super, super important, especially in these dark times.
Right. And let me tell you, you are an excellent fairy godmother. But even fairy godmothers have their limits sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and coaches too. So in the slide that I have on the screen, so once again, let me just say, here's where we're at. We recognize, we know that we have an issue. We have a problem that's facing us, and it's right in our face.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to detach just enough to take a step back and identify the problem. Okay, so that's great. I know what my problem is. Now, what do I do about it? And so that's where this slide comes into focus, if you will. Okay, so on the left, I have a picture of Babe Didrikson. Now, if
Okay.
you're not familiar with Babe Didrikson, I highly recommend that you look her up because, in my estimation, she is one of the greatest athletes of all time. And the reason why I say that is because she could do anything related to sports. She was incredible at it. She played golf. She was in the Olympics. I mean, she even played baseball in a
Oh,
time where women weren't playing baseball. Of course, she didn't play on a men's team, but if you can think of a sport, Babe Didrikson probably did it. And then on the right, you have undoubtedly one of the greatest tennis players of all time on the women's circuit, Serena Williams.
at least her I do recognize.
Okay, good. Well, I picked somebody that maybe people weren't as familiar with because she's just so phenomenal. And people talk about great athletes, and often Babe is just overlooked. And by the way, that was the name that she called herself. I just want that to be clear. Babe Didrikson, that's what she went by.
Right
Okay.
on, right on.
So, fairy godmother,
Yes.
where is Babe Didrikson looking?
Ahead towards the finish line to her ultimate goal.
Exactly. Ding, 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 ding. You get the gold medal.
Woo!
She is not looking at the ground, is she?
No, she's not. Looks
Because
like
she
she's high
trusts,
stepping it too.
that's
Good for
right,
her.
because she trusts that the ground is there. She's actually running the hurdle event.
Ah,
So,
that would explain the leg positioning.
exactly. Is she looking at the hurdle?
No.
No, because it is simply an obstacle in her path to the finish line that
Mhm.
she must overcome to obtain her objective, which is to cross the finish line and win. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please give us a thumbs up, a happy face, something if you like the idea of winning?
Yeah, that just is an amazing thing. I know I like the idea of winning. I know everybody that I work with likes the idea of winning because when you actually win in life or in your business or whatever your chosen hobby is, you feel completely different. You feel more successful. You feel happy. There's a sense of pride about you that may not have been there before.
That's exactly right. And you feel accomplished. Now, here's the great thing. Once you win once and get that feeling and have that confidence of
Hmm.
overcoming a major issue like we're facing right now, guess what? You look back on it and you say, well, I overcame that. If I
Hmm.
can if I can overcome that, then I can overcome the next thing that comes to me.
Right? Now,
There,
I admit there's a lot of things that are out of a lot of people's control right now.
yes, that's true.
And how would you react to that by still keeping your focus where it needs to be on what you're saying?
Well, let's just talk about what the situation is. So, for the most part, 80% of America is being told stay at home,
Hmm.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, where should your focus be?
Well, okay, me being a fairy godmother is going to say
Oh,
improving
yeah, you're
yourself
going
first, improving your relationship second, improving your business third, improving your spirituality fourth. But this is just me, you
there
know?
you go. And that's great. And I hope a lot of people are in that same mindset. But for me, let's just say, just I think the first thing that popped in my mind would be to improve your home.
Yeah,
Now, and
I
we
can
do
see
that
that.
by
A lot of people are working on their homes right now or their backyards being springtime, maybe planting that garden, maybe getting ready to plant some seeds.
there you
I know that there's still some really nasty weather in places, but
yes,
it is spring after all now.
that's right. April showers brings May flowers. Don't
And I'm
forget.
looking forward to those flowers, let me tell you.
There you go. There you go. So so that's it. So and then we improve our home by improving our thoughts, by improving what we're thinking about. And you're absolutely right. The next focus would be, well, who's in my home?
Hmm.
My family. And if you're by yourself, maybe you're lucky enough that you have a pet. And if not, maybe I hope you at least have some people that you can reach out to. I don't know about you, but I've taken a few minutes today to reach out to some people that I work with that I haven't seen and I haven't talked to and since this thing started. And I just really felt compelled to talk to them today, to actually hear their, I could have texted them, I could have emailed them, but I wanted to talk to them. And
No,
I
I
am,
understand that, and that is so important. We are not meant to be creatures of isolation. Humans, by nature, are social creatures. And, I do want to point out that even though right now a lot of us are being told to stay at home, we do have access to our smartphones. We do have access to our internet. And, you can talk to someone FaceTime that way. Now, I will be honest, the only person that I've talked to today, outside of my friend Beverly, who's currently staying with me, and my dog, was my granddaughter and my daughter. Okay, because I've been kind of working today, getting some stuff done before I start babysitting again. But, if you've got the spare time at that moment, you're not working virtually. Take
right.
a moment, check on someone you care about because that is super, super important. It does a lot for the mentality.
Right, exactly. There's somebody out there that I can reach out to that they were both so surprised to hear my voice. It was like, Coach Webb. I'm like, yeah, I've been missing you guys. I wanted to hear your voice. And it
Hmm.
did me good to know that they were doing well and that they were okay, which I believed anyway, but just having that confirmation just helped my heart and helped my own personal status. And quite frankly, I'm in a position right now where it's me and my dog. I don't have anybody else at the house with me at this time. I
Yeah.
don't feel alone.
I
Not
understand
one bit.
completely. I've been in that position myself many, many times where it's just me and the dog. And, at times it's really nice, but at times it gets really, really lonely. So I totally get that. Now, we were talking about how to fix the problem
Right,
mentioned in the first segment of our show.
right.
And you had mentioned identifying the problem, and then we had been talking about where's your focus. And,
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that we are still on focus for what we need to be talking about,
Yeah, exactly.
because even though mindset plays a huge part in this, and, this being isolated at this time and going through this chaos and wondering about finances and food and, whatever, if you're going to get sick, even if that's where your focus is, take 24 hours and shift it. Try an
Yes.
experiment for me. Just go in and sit there and say thank you. Start saying thank you instead of, oh no,
Right.
this is bad. Okay? Say thank you for what is there, for what you have in the cupboards, for who you have around you. Even if they're driving you crazy at times, say thank you for who is around you. Even if it's just the dog at times, because that's going to help with your focus. That's going to help with your mindset as well.
Yes, I'm very thankful for my dog.
I am too. I understand completely. There are times he drives me absolutely crazy, but
Well, yeah.
I would not get rid of him for the world.
No, absolutely not. No way.
Okay.
All
So,
right,
what
so
we're going to do real
shall
quick
we?
is take a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Now, Coach Webb, can you just sum up really quick for us in this segment and give us your final wonderful tip for overcoming that obstacle and accomplishing your dreams today?
Yes, I'd be glad to do that. So let's go back just a little bit. I'm not going to take the slides back. I just want to talk let's go back just to how we started, which was the fact that the mind can play tricks on you. Now,
Mhm.
that does not mean that we should doubt ourselves. It just means that we need to take a second look at everything, even if it's just for 2 seconds, and say, okay, that's more than what I thought it was, or that's different than I thought it was. And like I told you, sometimes you just have to change your perspective. You have to turn it around, turn it over, turn it upside down if you
Mhm.
need to. And then we came to this whole idea of that when you're too close to your problem, you can't see anything else. When you are stuck in your issue, that's where you are. And
Mhm.
it's good to have someone with a different perspective, whether it be a family member, a friend, or a coach, who has an expert who has overcome that problem and has maintained success in overcoming that problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what allows you to succeed and to move forward, which is what we want to do. We don't want to stay stuck in our problems. I think everybody is really ready for April 30th to come around so they can get out of their house and get back to some kind of normality.
Well, I totally agree because I know I am totally ready for some sort of normality around here again. And the fact that I could leave and just go eat at a Mexican restaurant, the simple things like that,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I miss. But at the same time, I don't know exactly what's going to be on the other side of this, but whatever it is, I know for a fact it's going to be better than what it was.
Exactly. That's what I'm believing too. So let's take a look at the second part of the slide, shall we? And then we'll get right into our big finale. You ready?
Sounds fantastic.
Fairy godmother, where is Serena Williams looking?
Straight ahead.
Exactly. Is she looking at her racket?
No, not at all.
Is she looking at the ball?
No, not at all.
No, she is looking where she wants the ball to go. That is where she's looking. And I'm going to tell you why Serena Williams is not looking at the ball, and in fact, never looked at the ball. She is looking at her opponent, and she was looking at her opponent from the time that she hit the ball the last time, and her opponent made her move. Serena watched film. She studied her opponent. Now, if you need another reason why Serena is not looking at the ball, here it is. This is Sabine Lisicki. She has the world record in women's tennis at 131 miles per hour.
Wow, that's really fast.
That is super fast. Now, Fairy Godmother, I know that you're not a tennis player.
No.
But do you know anyone who could follow a 130 mile an hour tennis ball?
Maybe a cheetah, maybe ostrich. No, wait, I think they only run like 60 or 90 miles an hour. No.
Yeah, they're not too fast. But I'm thinking, do you think of someone who could actually see a 130 mile an hour tennis ball?
That would be amazing if they could, but I do not know of anyone that could see a 131 mile an hour tennis ball.
Exactly. But by studying her opponent, Serena knew that the way her opponent moved, how she was going to hit the ball, and the likelihood of where the ball was going to end up. So let's go to our last slide. Does that look familiar?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the same question. I'm going to ask, where is this person's focus?
On going up, bringing her idea out of the ground into the light, accomplishing her dreams, and, being that entrepreneur with that mission or heartfelt business and knowing exactly what it is she's after and why she's doing it.
Exactly. She is solving her problem, no matter what it is. So will you agree with me? She is not looking at her feet.
No, she is not.
She is not looking at the next stair step.
No, she is not.
You know why?
Why?
Because she trusts that they're going to be there.
Yeah, and she trusts she's not going to hurt herself in those heels climbing stairs.
Exactly. So her complete and total focus can be on this idea that helps her solve her problem.
And, when you focus on that kind of an idea and you have that determination, you have that passion, that drive every day, and you take those steps, you quickly see results of things changing, and you are getting what it is that you want.
Exactly. Now, I want to tell you one other crazy trick of the brain. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, fantastic. So just like in our last slide, of both of those amazing female athletes looking at where they wanted to go, the finish line, the win, to hit the ball to an opponent, to hopefully get the win. Don't worry about the how. Get the idea. Get the dream in your head fully. Just completely imagine, how is it going to look like? What is my life going to look like when I solve this problem and get to the other side of it? And
Oh,
what
yeah.
will happen is you get this clear picture in your head, the steps will come to you. Every one of us starts at the bottom of these steps. Yes?
Definitely, definitely.
Every single one of us starts at the bottom of the steps. We know if we're going to get to that door, if we're going to get to the next level, that we're going to have to climb those steps. But we don't worry about what the steps are. We keep our focus on where it is that we want to go, which is beyond our problem into success, which, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you is the whole entire idea of the word win. When we overcome our problems, our obstacles, our issues, our hurts, habits, and hang-ups, it is a win.
I fully agree. Having experienced it in my own life, it changes everything.
Everything.
You know, Coach Webb, I really want to thank you for giving us this enlightening presentation today. So can you just sum it up really, really quickly for us? You know, just go through the few basic steps here before we close out and touch base on those steps again to overcome that problems. Because when you're manifesting a dream, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you're saying is true. And sometimes it can take a while to do that. So if they keep these 4 tips in mind, it's going to go so much easier for them.
Yes, absolutely. So let's start from the beginning with the idea that our brain can play tricks on us.
Mhm.
Know this through our sight, sound, hearing. Sometimes we hear things that we may have just missed a word. We see things that it turns out when we get closer or take a different look at them that they weren't exactly what we thought we were seeing. It's the same thing that's true with our problems. When we get too close to our problems, that's all we can see. And so we have to take a step back and really look at it for what it is, and then start to see what is around it, which is where the realm of possibility and solving that problem is. And then lastly, to keep our focus firmly on where it is we want to go. Even if it's somewhat cloudy, just keep thinking about it. Keep bringing that thought into your head. I will, when I succeed, when I overcome, when I crush this problem, this is how I'm going to feel. This is where I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to celebrate. And it's a wonderful feeling. It's a feeling. It's not just all in your head. When you feel it and you believe it, then you achieve it. Oh man, that is the ultimate success. That's your gold medal.
I fully agree 100%. In fact, you know, on our next show, we're going to be talking about feelings and the importance that they actually play, not just in our own personal life, in our business life, and in trying to manifest things all together. So make sure that you are following us. Make sure that you've liked and subscribed to us so you don't miss that episode. Before we go, Coach Webb, is there anything else that you would like them to know today?
Yes, there is. Actually, this weekend, I will actually be doing a live broadcast on Facebook. And you can find me at Coach Webb 13. Now, you may ask yourself, why would I want to watch your broadcast? Because I am going to be talking about the most valuable thing that you have, and that is time.
Mm-hmm. Time is something that we all have. We all get the same amount of it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, you know, it really, really depends on how you use it. That's why it's super important for you to quit being a wallflower and go out and live your life and accomplish your dreams and, you know, spend time with those that you love, doing what makes you happy, because life is too short otherwise.
Yes, at 3:30 on Sunday, I'll be 3:30 Central Time. I'll be going live, and I will show you for free, 100% free, how this new method of managing your time to have even greater success and even have time for yourself.
Oh, what a concept!
Wow, I know, right?
I know that's hard when you have children or other priorities, responsibilities, but I am the first person to advocate self-care, taking time for yourself, making sure that you are nurtured, healthy, happy, and whole. So I can't wait to see that myself. I
Very
plan
nice.
on tuning in. And when was that again?
That's going to be this Sunday, 3:30 Central, and I'm going to give you something. I'm not going to explain it right now, but I want to tell you how super simple this is. It only takes 1%.
Ooh, that is sure to be stimulating. I'm going
Yes.
to see, now you've got me going. I can't even talk
Yes.
correctly. I'm going to
Yes.
make sure that I
Got
have
the
my
three
pen
of
and
us.
paper ready to take notes on that.
Sweet. Yes. I have done my job today.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and go. But before we do, I just want to let you know that I also put out some tidbits to help transform your small business, transform your life Monday through Friday, roughly between 6 and 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time currently. Make sure that you take a watch on those. And mine also goes up on YouTube and all sorts of social media. Make sure that you've liked and subscribed and comment down below so that we understand where it is that you're coming from. If you want us to talk about anything in the future, or perhaps you just need clarity on an item, I promise you, we have got some great perspectives. So until next time, Coach Webb, namaste. Peace to you, my brother.
Peace to you. And remember, change your mind, change your dreams.
Definitely, definitely. My name is Lynn, the professional fairy godmother, and we will see you next week.
Yes.